Hi guys, I'm Sharonda Isadora and welcome to Blazing Babe Reviews. And today, tonight, whatever, I'll be doing another book recap, and that recap will be on J.D. Mason's The Woman Trapped in the Dark. This is her newest release, so happy release day, Miss Mason. And as always, I shall put the cover somewhere in here so that you can see it throughout the recap. And I know I usually show you guys the cover on my phone before I actually put the picture up, but this is actually a ARC copy, so I don't have the cover per se, so you'll see it pop up somewhere. So let's get to it, shall we? All right. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope you guys are doing good. So yeah, let's talk about this book. So I requested that. Actually, I think Miss Mason's publishing company reached out to me via email, and I've read her books before, especially this Blink Texas series, and it's awesome, outstanding. So they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to. That this book was coming out and if I wanted to review it. So yes, of course I do. So this is, I believe, she has like several books in the Blink Texas series, but I've only read 3 so far, including this one. All right. So The Woman Trapped in the Dark is actually a continuation of the book previous, which was Seducing Abby Rose. I'll link my review to that book in that little description boxy thing down here, so you can see the review. So this is a continuation of Abby Rose and Jordan Gatewood's story. In the first book, they actually met, got together, romance. So in this book, Abby actually gets kidnapped and Jordan has to get her out of this situation. And we also come across some other old characters throughout the series, which was Marlo Hampton, her current boo, which was he's kind of like a professor and a hitman. It's just like, okay. Her boo, he comes back inside of the story, and he's the one that actually helps Jordan get Abby back. Bella, the BS man, the BS. What are you doing? Don't come over here messing around. Go sit down. Go sit down. So, so this is where this is what's going on in The Woman Trapped in the Dark. So, Abby gets with Jordan, and she actually gets kidnapped because of something that Jordan has enemies. He's this very rich black man in the oil business, but now he's moving on to other things, especially in The Woman Trapped in the Dark. But he has old enemies from the oil business. As Miss Mason puts in the book, most people believe that the oil business is a white man's business, and Jordan, he actually inherited his father's oil company when he was a small child, and instead of these men coming in to help him, they basically manipulated him and tried to take his business from up under him. But as Jordan got older, he realized what these people were doing to him. He got smart and he actually outwitted them. So by him doing that, he made some enemies, and one of these enemies is actually the one that is plotting and is responsible for this kidnapping that goes on in the book. So that is really your general plot of the story. Abby gets kidnapped. Jordan has to get her within 5 days. And he recruits the help of Marlo Hampton's current boo, Wells. So I'm not gonna lie, this story had me on pins and needles because you have a little bit of everything going on in this story, which is what I love about J.D. Mason's writing. She's able to take like these different genres and just throw them all together and just make it mesh so well. So you have romance, you have this kidnapping, which leads to like this mystery. You have suspense. You have murder. You have a lot of things going on in the story. But like I said, she's able to make it work and make everything mesh so well. So that is your general plot of the story. And she really does keep you on the edge of your seat. From Abby to Jordan to Wells. Marlo was kind of like this little like side type of character in the story. But, you know, she was a welcome side character. Her aunt Shushu, you know, also this book has like a little paranormal type of a feel to it. So you have that in it as well. So you have all of this going on in the story. And it's just, oh God, it's a really awesome, well put together story. I loved it. She was able to make everything connect. There were some parts that I thought were like a little bit drawn out, especially because what she does is she gives us everybody perspective. She gives us Abby perspective as the woman that is kidnapped. She gives us Jordan's perspective as the man who has to deal with the fact that his lover has been kidnapped and possibly you know, might not make it back to him if he don't give in to the demands of these people. You have the manipulation going on. You have the people that actually did the kidnapping. You get their perspectives in the story, you know, from the people that actually planned it, who were basically like, you know, they were telling their part of the stories why they, you know, basically why they hate Jordan and why they want this revenge, to actually the poor people that they actually had do the kidnapping, you know, their reasons for actually doing this kidnapping. And it's always money, but there's the situations around these people needing this money that gets told in this story. And like I said, although I thought those parts were like a little bit drawn out, it made the story work. It put a little bit more, I always say meat. It put a little bit meat on the bones to the story. So you have all of that. And you know, like I said, you have Marlo, her aunt Shushu, you have Wells. And I love the story. It was just suspenseful. You know, I was on the train reading it like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I mean, Jordan pretty much had 5 days to find Abby and get her out of this situation because he knew it was a kidnapping. He knew that she pretty much might not make it back to him. So he does his own little back dealings and, you know, to get her out of the situation. And I'm telling y'all, child, it was one part of the story I thought, as one of the YouTubers I watch on my other channel, he says things when people do stupid things, you know, they done fucked up all the church's money. Shout out to Funky Doniva. Jordan almost did that in a part of the story. Like, he just lost it. And child, when I tell you, he almost fucked up the church's money. Oh my God. I was just like, oh my God, this man is going to ruin it. This woman is not going to make it back to him. But, you know, Miss Mason brings the story back, you know, I mean, because it would be, you know, pretty much of a story if something happened to Abby. I mean, it would be, but it's kind of like, if that happened, it just would have been like, you know, like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So, but it's the story is great. I loved it. I loved Abby being, you know, her vulnerability of being a kidnapped woman, and, you know, the things that happened to her while she, you know, or may have that happened to her while she was in this, you know, in this state, you know, to Jordan's anxiety and fear of losing her, especially when he just got her, because from, you know, from the previous book, Jordan was used to being by himself. So, you know, when Abby comes in with her down-to-earth self and, you know, just, you know, loving on him the way he needs to be loved on, you know, just going through this man's anxiety and frustration on not finding her, and getting his hands on, you know, hands on her when he wanted to, because he's this very rich man and he's used to, you know, when I want it done, I want it done. And with Abby being in this situation, it just wasn't going to happen. The revenge plot was interesting. It was an interesting part of the story as well. And Miss Mason is always able to throw race and how, you know, no matter your status in life, how color, you know, how race usually plays a part, and how things are done. And, you know, the way she weaved the story around these people actually wanting to get rid of Jordan, it's just like, to hold on to something for that long just because, you know, you didn't like a person because of their skin color, or you felt slighted by them because they were able to see through your manipulation and, you know, get you out of their way, and now you're mad and you're holding a grudge because this person was like, yo, I see you, I see what the fuck you're doing, and I don't want to be bothered. And that never ceases to amaze me. You have a little bit of that going on in this book, you know, down to the people that actually kidnapped Abby and their reasons why. You know, when poor people don't have money and they're desperate and a situation like this comes across them, you get kind of like this thing of like, do I do it? Do I not do it? You know, because, well, two of them, you know, they were good people, but they were in these situations where they really needed this money, and their current situations just wasn't working, you know. And you get these backstories of these people and why they're doing what they're doing, and it's something else. You know, really makes you question, like, you know, people always say, I would never do that. But, you know, somebody offer you, you know, a large sum of money, you know, to do something, and you know, it's like, you know, never say never, you know. So I like how she was able to give us these kidnappers' backgrounds. I don't think she did it for us to have sympathy for these people, because wrong is wrong, you know what I mean? But it just gives you like an idea of why people, you know, may do the things that they do, and they can justify, even if it's an evil act. You know, they can justify doing the evil act because, you know, that evil act is going to make their situation better in their head, you know. So I like how she's able to, hold on y'all, where was I? How people are able to justify doing things, even evil, terrible things. So, you know, you get that. Plato, that was his name. That's what's his name. Marlo's boyfriend now. That's his name. His name is Plato. And like I said, he's this very kind of like mysterious character. Even in Marlo's book, he was a very mysterious character, and he still is. But you know, I just love how Miss Mason is able to take these characters and kind of sort of makes you feel something, you know, feel something for, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, make you feel something for them, and just get you drawn into her stories by way of her writing. Is she, I mean, every book that I have read by this woman, I cannot say that I have not, well, it's only 3, but still, I can't say that I haven't, you know, disliked one book, because I just, you know, I'm always able to be like, I literally read this book in 2 days. 2 days. And y'all know I am not a fast reader at all. So I loved it. This is an excellent release. I love everything about it. The story is just great. The characters are great. The plot is out of this world. Everything just meshes and comes together perfectly. And thank you for another awesome read, Miss Mason. And I am looking for another story to come out of Blink, Texas, because I don't know who else can be next. So that's it for me, guys. If you haven't read anything by Miss J.D. Mason, I highly suggest you pick up a book and do it. You can start with this book. You can start with being on Seducing Abby Rose, or you can go to the first book I started with, which was what's that dang on first book? The Real Mrs. Price. And I know she has some other books in the Blink, Texas series, I think, that were before these 3 books. So I really have to go back and just, oh gosh, so many books, so little time. But I'm gonna get to it. So that's it for me, guys. Oh, and this is going to be rated 5 stars on Goodreads. 5 stars, and snap in a circle, baby, because this book is awesome. So until the next one, later days, guys. Bye.